Martin Luther writes, "Next to theology, I accord to music the highest place and honor. Music is the art of the prophets, the only art that can calm the agitations of the soul. It is one of the most magnificent and delightful presents God has given us." And as we celebrate music this morning with the hymn sing, as you've heard already, we'll do it a little bit differently. We've chosen 5 members of the congregation and have asked them to choose a hymn that is especially meaningful or important to them, and they will talk a little bit about it, and then we'll sing. So, Linda Volland will get us started.
Good morning. Good morning. I come from a family of farmers. My brother was a farmer, my father, and my grandparents. And recently I inherited my grandparents' farm. For those of you that know me, I've been spending the last 6 months out there renovating a farmhouse and all the buildings on it to make it look special the way I remember it as a child. As a child, I don't know if you got a picture of that picture. This picture was taken in my grandmother's garden. As a child, In the Garden was one of the first songs that I learned. My grandmother had a Lowry organ she bought, and it's the first organ I ever played. And so this song became very special at all of their funerals. My grandparents, my parents, both my parents, and my brothers, this song is sung. A long time ago, in 1913, Austin Miles was asked to write a hymn of tenderness and mercy for those that had family dying. And it is a special hymn that celebrates a special time in Mary Magdalene's life. If you go to John 20, verses 1 through 17, many of the words you will find in this hymn are in that scripture. It reflects on when Mary Magdalene, after the death of Jesus, is in the garden, and Jesus appears to her, and her body is her response.
Virginia Carter will introduce Here I Am.
4'6" grandfather. He was a Christian. I got the height from the other side of the family. He was a Christian man that led by example. He lived 15 years in a nursing home due to a heart condition. The last year of his life, he had many near-death times. He was ready to pass on and says, "Why doesn't God want me?" He picked this song for his funeral. It was his choice. For the first few years after hearing it, I had to leave the sanctuary. It was too sad. But now, over the years, I've got comfort from it. It makes me feel closer to God and remember the fond memories of my grandfather.
First off, when Daryl called me, I couldn't believe it. He asked me to do this. I think it's awesome. And I was talking to my granddaughter, who I think more of than the universe is big, and I told her, I said, I'm going to be getting in front of the congregation and talking, and she gave me this weird look. And she said, can you stay serious that long? So anyway, I really like this song, but I didn't know that it originated with the American slaves, and it was just the third verse when it started out, and it was about praising God. And these people would get together early in the morning when they weren't supposed to, about breaking bread and wine. And so it was along with communion, and I love being on the diaconate, so I chose this song. And the other good thing that happened from this is that 3 times in about the last week and a half I've gotten on YouTube, and you just put one song in there that you like, and it'll just lead you right along, and you can listen to all your favorite songs at once. It's pretty neat. And Jack Henderson, if you like Elvis Presley, you need to go in and listen to Why Me Lord. It's awesome. Thank you.
In researching this hymn, what I didn't know was that the first place it was ever published was in the New Methodist Hymnal when it came out, which is the first place I ever heard it. Back then, the bishop of the Methodist Church, Bishop Martinez, and his wife came to our church to introduce the new hymnal. His wife had been on the committee that chose the hymns that were going to be in the new hymnal, and this was one of her favorites. And I liked it right off the bat. It was written by Natalie Sleeth as an anthem originally, and then became a hymn. But in the years since, it has grown in meaning for me from hearing it at different funerals, which we sang it at my mom and dad's funeral, and we sang it at my uncle's funeral and my nephew's funeral. But the first funeral I ever went to where they sang it, it hit me rather strongly, and I started to cry. And I was sitting next to my mother at this funeral, and she did not like people bawling at funerals. And gave me a look like, oh, come on. But anyway, so it's always spoken deeply to me of the promise of God's of everything that God promises for us, that life does not end at your funeral. You are not dead, you are reborn, and you will be better. So it's always meant a lot to me, and my mom would have been proud of me because I did not cry when I sang this song at her funeral. So it can mean different things to you at different times in your life, but for me, this is a very special hymn. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
song in our hymn sing, We, and it gives no instructions in the bulletin, but as we're used to doing, let's sing it 3 times through, and the last time, a cappella.
I should have sung Jacob's Ladder. Just for me coming downstairs. Anyway, the song I picked was Weave. When I started out with this, I was going to have Ann here. And she kind of picked the song, and then I kind of talked to her about what she liked about the song, and she said, I just like it. And I said, well, that's helpful. But, and she says, and I like that. She sung a little bit of the chorus, so I thought, okay, we can go from here on. I like this song because I think that today, that's our plea for people. That song is weave us together in unity and love. You know, that's what we really need now, more than anything. And I just think it speaks to us all because there are so many different people, and you know, they compare us, in the song they compare us, in the verses they compare us to different textures. They also compare us to an orchestra playing, and that each person playing an instrument, but yet it makes one great song. So that's kind of the comparison. The lady that wrote this is not a huge songwriter. Her name is Rosemary Crow, and I'm just going to share a little bit of the background of this because I think it's important. This song was used the first time at the Girl Scouts World Conference in 1984 because they thought it spoke to the true spirit of the Girl Scouts. It was also used when 3 parts of the Lutheran Church came together as their song to bring people together. And it's been used in those kind of places where they wanted a message of unity, and that sometimes that we all don't believe the same or we're not on the same page exactly, but we can find hope in that. She wrote this song after she heard her new minister who came from Australia, and he said, as part of his sermon, he said at the end, he says, I am looking forward to seeing how we weave together. So she came up with the song and she wrote it. She was Episcopalian, and she was a school teacher. I mean, you know, I like that. Anyway, she was a school teacher who then, after she taught many years in public schools, and after she taught, part of it was that she did go to a church, and so she led the music, and she wrote songs, and she did all these kind of things. She was not a prolific writer. You know, you can't put her in Wikipedia and find her. She's not there. Anyway, but I guess that whole thing of bringing people together, and in today's world, we need that so much. As we talk about how diverse we are, and you can see that when people get together and they create a project together, that it is sometimes just awesome that people were together. And I think that's why this song is so important to us. Thanks.